class was able to go through all the programs and learn about all of the great things that York County has to offer. And I think that was one of the biggest takeaways for me is being new to York County business community. I previously worked in Charlotte. I just didn't realize how many great initiatives and programs and businesses are in York County. So that was, like Brett said, what other opportunity you're going to have to sit down with these leaders and learn at that intimate level. So I just really loved that part of LYCO. And also to echo you, James, I think the best part was the retreat and those more informal gatherings we had where you got to do all these fun icebreakers and just get to know people on a more personal level. So that was fun for sure.
That's awesome. You jogged my memory about something, Mollie. I think we talk about the experiences because what I think is most memorable for me in my LYCO experience are the relationships that I built. But during that time, we were dedicated, we were committed to a very big project, right? That we were working on that, ideally would have a huge impact on our local community, on our York County community that we all so love. So tell me a little bit about your project. I guess I'll start with Brett and then you, Mollie, and I'll close out with what we did the year my class engaged in the service project.
Yeah, so our project, it's funny the path that you get there, because once you get 30 people in a room that have 30 different mindsets, we're all like-minded folks and want to do something good for the community, but with completely different backgrounds, it's kind of tugging and pulling in what direction do you want to go. But we finally settled on our project called the Athletes Vault, which was a similar to a clothing closet or a suit closet, a sporting goods closet. So we were collecting gently used or new sports equipment, shoes, bats, balls, gloves, all that sort of things. And we partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of York County to host that for us. So it's a great opportunity. They cleaned out an old, I suppose there's a locker room over there, and we were able to use that as our storage facility. And we kicked off during Come See Me at the kickball game there. So it was a nice tie-in to a pre-existing or an existing previous LYCO program that was put in place. So that's one of the biggest challenges, is identifying a community partner that has the capacity to keep that going on the long term. But I'm optimistic that the Athletes Vault will continue. It may change a little bit, but it's still going.
That's awesome. I remember you all working on that, and that's, when you think about the cost and the expense associated with students being able to, and our young folks being able to participate in sports and other activities. So that was such a cool, neat project that you all did, Brett. So I always enjoy hearing about that. Mollie, I know you guys didn't get to finish, but you talk a little bit about some of what you all were playing for this year, actually, or last year.
Sure. Kind of like Brett said, I think one of the important aspects of like the pre-planning of the project is where I think that comes into play, is when you have 30 individuals with different wants and perspectives. It's that process of coming together for the good of the group and everyone, agreeing on something, which and as a business professional, sometimes you have to do that in meetings and projects and whatnot. So that was a great learning experience to be able to take 30 people's passions and focus on one project. So we planned to partner with Keep York County Beautiful and of spring 2020, kind of on the heels of Earth Day, and do like a litter trash pickup and, just try to keep York County the beautiful place that it is. So like I said, hopefully we all agreed to come back together and see that project through whenever, it's safe for everyone. So that was out. How about you, James?
Yeah, no. So we actually did a financial literacy initiative where we were creating opportunities for community members to come and just gain financial literacy tools. And it was really, really a cool and focused on budgeting and savings. And it was a really neat initiative. And we partnered with some local banks. A few of my classmates were actually worked for different banks in the area and credit unions in the area. And so it was really a neat opportunity. And, looking back, even when we talk about our everyday work at United Way, we weren't specifically focusing on financial literacy then, but as I think about our road to this focus in financial literacy, LYCO was a huge part of that because it really laid the foundation and allowed me to observe some of the challenges our community was facing, some opportunities for growth. And, that's one of the things I really appreciate about my LYCO partnership and our actual project, because it really, I think, evolved into something bigger at my everyday work, right? So that was a really cool thing for me personally that I appreciated and really took a lot of value from through that LYCO that I met in LYCO that I can pick up the phone now, call and, brainstorm. They help with on different situations or challenges we may face. Or at the end of the day, just to have a good laugh or drink with, right? And so I think that's so important to be able to build those lifelong relationships across the community with other leaders here in York County. And so that was one of the big things I think and takeaways that actually benefited not only me, but our organization as well. So I guess anything from your experience you all felt really, someone may ask the question, why would United Way or why does United Way send their staffers through the LYCO program? Any thoughts you would have on that, Mollie and Brett?
Personally, I think, as you mentioned, you get in the retreat or you get in class and who those type A personalities are. That's not really me. So it's interesting to sit back and observe a little bit and learn from some of those folks. But at the same time, you're forced to come out of that shell and build those relationships and take on new challenges. But it also provided me the opportunity now to sit on the planning council. And in my role being business development or resource development, so much is engaging with the community and the business contacts that I had or didn't know that I had that had gone through LYCO. And so really took a lot of those relationships to the next level, which is a great opportunity. Again, you realize that, we got a lot more in common, or I think LYCO is kind of one of those fallback conversations at a chamber event that everybody can kind of jump in and share their stories. But certainly as an organization, United Way that depends on community support and community partnerships, LYCO is a great way for us to engage in new young leaders. We think about who our donors are, and we really, maybe they've been around for a while or they're experienced business leaders. So LYCO really presented us at United Way with the opportunity to engage in that new generation.
From the personal friendships that you can create, but also being able to be plugged in. I was new to United Way when I started LYCO. So being able to be plugged into the business community and the community in general, I think is really, you can't put a price on that. Like, that's invaluable to be able to be part of the business community and the relationships and the networking and just all the things that can come from that. So
that's awesome. And I think our CEO, Rebecca Melton, would agree. I believe she did LYCO back in the 90s. So just kind of talk about the longevity of this incredible program, right? And so I believe that's why she's so adamant about sending our staff through the program, because she sees the benefit. And over the years, it's continuing to roll out incredible leaders and expose local leaders to opportunities that you just don't get in every community, and sometimes are difficult to get because you're so engaged in your work and what you're trying to accomplish for your business or industry that you represent. You will have from LYCO?
Well, I was going to ask you, James, so what was your talent for the retreat?
Mollie, you would ask.
Can you give us a highlight? No, I'm kidding.
So I what did I do? I think I sung, or did I do a poem?
Oh, cool.
I just wanted to see clearly. It was very unforgettable.
It's
for
memorable.
me.
That's better than mine. I limboed, so.
I was saved by the hurricane, so I didn't have to do one, and thank goodness,
Oh, you're
because
so
I
lucky,
didn't have
Brett.
one. And you're talking about putting yourself in those vulnerable situations, and I too, if I can avoid those.
About,
And,
too,
I
I
think
guess
it'd be
more serious note is the lessons from LYCO that I literally fall back on today. And Brett, you sort of alluded to it earlier. When you have a room of 30 plus leaders, regardless of personality type, right? Whether you're that A type that's very, energetic and getting things done, or you're more of a laid back leader, you still have strong personalities. And so I remember, our group trying to make a decision on our project. And, some of us were excited, some were frustrated, some were annoyed. But what happened in that process is we watched everyone come together to galvanize around a particular issue that we wanted to address, because we all saw where it could benefit our community. And I think I take that into my work every day now, right? That LYCO experience. I remember that room in Spartanburg and sticky notes across the room. And every day now, when I have to make tough decisions, whenever we are in a situation where, there's some things we got to decide on, and there may be conflicting decisions and thoughts, but how do we pull everyone together around the root cause, around that primary issue that is facing our community that we can address and really move the needle on? And that's special to me. And I think that's something that LYCO really showed is possible. And when you get that group of leaders around that issue, move out of the way, because we're coming through, we're going to make change, and we're going to have an impact. And so that's one thing that I will never forget, and I always feel is a valuable lesson from LYCO. Any valuable lessons you all have that you can fall back on today?
Well, I think the biggest thing with our project, on the surface, it sounds like you're just collecting goods and it's a simple thing to do, but it's really the research, I think, that went into that kind of helped me right from the beginning realize that York County is a special place. And when we did the research on it, and we realized that kids that are obviously what the financial barrier is for a lot of individuals to be able to participate in athletics at whatever level that may be. But then the benefits that come out of it, the higher graduation rates, the building self-esteem, all those other things that you don't think about when you're donating a pair of shoes. It's easy to clean out the garage and get rid of some things that your kids don't use anymore. But when you can really understand what that purpose is, and I think that was one of the first times that I realized, being new to York County myself, that how connected the county is, how generous people are, and everybody's there for one another. So it is so much less about collecting sporting goods versus being able to help out your neighbors.
For me, I am that type A personality and structure and whatnot. So for me, I think LYCO helped me to maybe relax a bit and kind of be able to delegate and involve more people. And I think in the end, you have all these ideas for projects and narrowing it down to one. And that may or may not be what you wanted to do, but it's kind of putting community and group before self. So I think that's something that I was able to take away from the experience.
Believe in our local chamber. I know I'm probably biased, but I believe we have the best chamber, and the programs that are being produced through our chamber are incredible. And LYCO is just one of those very impressive programs that I think has the ability to really roll out incredible leaders across our community that I'm immensely thankful for.
Thank you, Sweater.
You got it. Highly recommend it. So give LYCO a shot, and
LYCO.
you'll definitely be glad you did.